Thank you to the moderators and the volunteers. You guys are awesome. Everybody who keeps volunteering to be part of this. Every day I get people who say, Mark, how can I help? We have so many people asking to, be part of it to help. I don't even know what to tell everybody because we don't have roles for everybody yet, but thank you. You guys, absolutely awesome. You just, you're amazing. Let's see. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna wrap all that up and move straight into our event. So the very first person I want to introduce, I wanted him to be first because I have a history that goes back with this particular company and this. Let me get my notes up. So the first person that you're going to meet is Sam Haysom. Sam actually changed the name of the company to Omega Power Technologies. I've made 3 trips to a battery laboratory, testing laboratory in Oregon from California. So these were major trips to go and keep an eye on his technology. It's nanotechnology and it's very exciting and interesting. And I'm assuming that and hold on, just one more thing I need to do here real quick. Okay. I got that. Okay, Sam, I hope you're in the room because I actually don't know. But if you're in the room, you're the first to speak. Try and keep it to 2 minutes, and then we'll just plow through the rest of our 25, and then we'll open up the breakout rooms for everybody else. Are you here, Sam?
Great. Yes. Thank you for inviting me, Mark. I'm very excited to be here. And hello to everyone who is with us. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Omega Power Technologies. And we are on a pathway to commercializing and getting to revenue with what happened here? Did everybody lose me?
No.
Okay. So I lost my picture there. I'm sorry.
It's just probably moving around. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
You're on center stage.
I'm sorry, everyone. Okay, so we're developing lithium metal battery electrodes, which simply replace graphite, which would be in your current cell phone, and we're replacing with our patented nanosponge. And what that means, and at 50% increase in energy density in comparison to any Apple or Samsung cell phone. What that simply means in practical terms is your cell phone battery from Omega Power would enable your cell phone to be charged up once every 2 days rather than once or twice a day. For an aerial drone, for instance, our drone battery will enable you to have 20 minutes additional airtime for a drone. With a particular EV battery, our EV batteries with nanosponge inside would enable the range of an EV to go at least 50% further. This is a huge dynamic breakthrough in battery technology. And we're in the middle of a Series A raise with our commercialization partner that Mark mentioned, Polaris Battery Labs in Portland. 6 years ago, Mark had a production company and he produced and directed our very first promotional video. Since then, we've obtained milestone after milestone after milestone, and we're at a Series A raise, and we are about 18 months away from revenue. And we're getting a lot of interest now from private equity, family offices, as well as VCs. But this is an opportunity I want to keep open for the smaller retail investor. The minimum investment under our subscription Series A private placement memorandum is for $42,000 for 100,000 shares of Omega Power Technologies. And it's a fantastic opportunity to get in on the ground level. This is the first time anybody maybe has seen we replace graphite with our nanosponge on copper foil, and we could produce what's called a copper spool and simply sell that to battery gigafactories across the earth, and especially focused here in the US. So while we're a startup, we're a 7-year startup, and we're not an endless black hole of R&D for everybody's dollars. This is a very exciting opportunity. I will be in the Series A breakout room For any of you who would like to have a deeper dive into our technology or to learn more about our company, just email me at samuel@omegapower.co, not .com. And we have a beautiful pitch deck, and we have scientists that can meet with your scientists, and we can do deep dives into any area or aspect of our company and business. Thank you again, Mark, for inviting me. And it's a pleasure to meet all of you. And I hope everyone has great success through the Venture Starter platform. Thank you again, everyone.
Thanks, Sam. And just a quick comment, the technology came out of Rice University, and this nanotechnology is really intriguing. So if especially you're into nano, you definitely at least want to talk to Sam.
I might want to just add, Mark, if you'll allow me, my son, Daniel, is our chief science officer, and he was in Forbes 30 under 30 in 2014 when he invented the nanosponge that you're seeing for the first time. Maybe there's 500 people on the planet that has even seen nanosponge on a battery electrode. You're seeing a miracle right here. So thanks for the opportunity to show that, Mark. Thanks again.
Well, I certainly hope that it will transform energy batteries. Up next is Parshant Jain with Haptogram. Are you available? You'll have to come off mute if you're in our room. Really? No? Okay, I'll move on. Next up is Jenny Adams.
Hi.
Perfect.
My name is Jenny Adams, and my life's purpose is to create equilibrium between women and men on a global scale. And equilibrium is not the same as equality. In fact, equality between women and men is going to cause huge problems, as it already is. And I'll give you an example with a candle metaphor. So in the candle, the masculine is the wax in the wick, and the feminine is the flame. Right now we're upside down, and you can't light the flame. Equality is the candle on its side. And when you have a system like ours that's masculine based, women have to be masculine to succeed. And you can't light the candle. It'll burn. You can light it, but it'll burn out very quickly. Equilibrium is the candle right side up, where the masculine is holding and fueling the feminine flame, who is then radiating warmth, love, and nourishment back onto the masculine. And it takes everyone higher and higher. And how I'm doing this in a business is, my business is called Equilibration. When women and men are in equilibrium, it liberates everybody, not just women and men, but everyone in between. And we're creating a global standard and certification process by creating a coalition of multi-billion-dollar organizations who will test this, co-create and test the standards. We are currently in a seed round. Some of you might say pre-seed. I will be in the women's breakout room, and I hope to see you there. We are also looking for some more people to bring onto our team. So if you're interested in a job, please reach out to me as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. I love what you're doing. By the way, I never did answer at least my definition of pre-seed and seed. And I want you all to know that everybody that's on the investor side will have a slightly different definition of pre-seed and seed. My definition, pre-seed is family and friends. Basically, it's the money that just gets you going. It's the early dollars. It's the small dollars. Seed is when you're looking for a few $100,000, you know, maybe 500,000. But, you know, and then you move into Series A, which is usually, you know, it could even be $1 million to many millions. And then if you're like healthcare, like some of my companies that I am so passionate about, where we're raising 25 to 50 million, you get yourself into Series B and C when you're going after those big monies. Sorry, I had not mentioned that before. But that's my definition. So pre-seed is you're looking for your first investors, and you might have family and friends, you may have zero. Up next is Sarah with Be Human. Are you here, Sarah? You'll have to unmute if you're here. I'm surprised we have people not showing up after they sent us a request to pitch. All right, next up is John McIntyre with New Start Orthodontics. Are you here, John? Wow, I don't understand.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
Mark, a quick suggestion would be everybody who got an email from you that they're pitching tonight, why don't they raise their hands? If you didn't get an email, don't raise your hands, but that'll give you, if there's only 12 of them that showed up, that'll let you know.
Yeah, David, thank you. Because this is a new format and I thought that everybody I thought that there was interest in doing it this way. I agree. So if we sent you an email and you know for sure you're in the 25, that might, thank you, David. It'll probably make my life a lot easier. Please raise your hand digitally. I appreciate everybody's input. I mean, this is a community event and I need everybody's help. And I'll just quickly read off a few names in case you don't know that you were included. Jarrett Burke, Mike Manu, probably mispronouncing. Inara Kadyrova, for sure mispronouncing. Noah Hodner, Ricardo with Han, ZFlow, Content Match company, Jeffrey from Content Match, somebody from Porter Global, Unibu, Perform XW, Culture Lancer, Andover House, Diversid, Prasaga, Agility Health, Skya Software, Standby Helps, Troubled, Recfix. I guess that's it. Okay, we'll try David's suggestion. If you heard that you were in the queue, you rose your hand. I'm going to start with Rich. Take it away, Rich.
One more suggestion. Ask people to unmute themselves. Maybe they forget about it and then we can't hear them. They don't know, they cannot be heard, and though it all fails.
Okay, these are all fantastic suggestions. I hope you're all listening. So Rich Arnold, you're up next.
Mark, one last suggestion. This is Rich, but you didn't highlight the last speaker. So if you can do whatever it is that you do to highlight.
So if you go to the gallery, if you go, let's see. So you have the choice between a speaker view or a gallery view. If you click on speaker view, you'll see everybody who speaks no matter where they're at.
Somehow you highlighted me. Anyway, my name is Rich Arnold. I'm an advisor and board member of early stage high growth tech companies globally. Have been doing that for 30 plus years, including, I mean, my original background is I was CFO and CEO of Charles Schwab and Company, met Chuck when it was 3 people and left when it was 6,000. So I've worked with some amazing founders, and I'm typically the first non-founder director of bootstrapped companies. And the one I want to talk about today is Agility Health Radar. Large corporations know that if they don't disrupt themselves, they will be disrupted. And to do that internal disruption, they adopt agile practice. And agile practice is complex and requires a lot of help. So they have processes, ceremonies, routines, and they buy a lot of coaching services. A typical large enterprise that has 1,000 or 1,500 teams uses a framework like the Scaled Agile framework, which often means that they are spending hundreds of millions of dollars on deploying Agile. And the problem is that they are also kind of undoing their top-down command and control structure so that they are bottom-up teams, self-organizing and self-directing. And what Agile Health Radar is, Agility Health Radar is the first company, and in fact, the thought leader in the space of how do you make those teams excellent at scale? You have to empower those teams to self-assess how they are doing on many fronts. how they are doing at productivity, at quality of output, at predictability of output, at team dynamics, at the team's relationship with other teams in the organization. And so Agility Health Radar is a platform for that. It's been bootstrapped from nothing to $9 million in ARR and $13 million in total revenue, the difference being services revenue. And the SaaS revenue will, within a couple of years, be 75 or 80% of the total revenue. Its go-to-market strategy is both direct sales and through partnerships, both with organizations like scaledagile.com or scaledagileframework.com, or with companies like Atlassian that provide other software tools to the agile practitioners. But more importantly, through the Accentures and Deloittes of this world, and the specialist agile coaching partners like Eliasson and so on. So many times, and the customer base is large enterprise. So the current customer base includes the Federal Reserve Bank, Capital One, Fidelity, the US Air Force, Ford Motor, etc. It's very large enterprise, often serving thousands of teams. So the average contract value is hundreds of thousands of dollars, and the term is 2 to 5 years. It's a really excellent founder-owned company looking for its first capital raise. And I'll just quickly say there are two different capital needs. One is about $2 million that is specifically to enable the company to qualify for matching fund grants from the US government under the Cyber TACFI grant program that it's already qualified for. The other is a growth funding of about $7 to $10 million in an A round.
Okay, Rich, I actually would be interested in getting your deck personally. So if my assistant can, or if you have my email address, that'd be great.
I will put my information in the chat.
Please do. And to everybody, please keep your comments to 2 minutes. And if you have pitched to us at any point in the past, unraise your hand. I'm only trying to put people on today on the main stage who have never pitched before in front of us. You will all be invited back if you've pitched before, and you can go in the breakout rooms and pitch. But just for tonight, please, if we've seen you on the main stage, we may even unraise your hand ourselves. Okay, up next is Alicia. I don't know how to pronounce your name, with Porter Global. Please tell us your name and welcome.
Hi there, how are you today? So my full name, as the pronunciation goes, is Alicia Kanani, and I am the founder and CEO of Porter Global Incorporated. We are a logistics startup at the moment, and we're raising a seed round of $700,000 at an equity stake of safe round of pre-money or post-money valuation, depending. So what we do is we move product from country A to country B in 72 hours at $10 a pound. At the moment, these services are being offered by FedEx, DHL, and UPS under the Global Courier and Delivery Service. It's a $440 billion total market, but there are only 3 major competitors: FedEx, DHL, and UPS. FedEx. So we are operational at the moment in Chicago, Dubai, and Karachi, Pakistan. And what it does is, in 72 hours, we're moving products from Chicago to Dubai or Dubai to Pakistan, and whichever way. It's a 3-way flight connection, so it's moving here and there. FedEx at the moment is charging $110 a pound at 7 to 14 business days from Chicago, Illinois to Karachi, Pakistan. Right? As a student, when I was there, it was a very big problem for me, so I came up with this solution which allows individuals to transport products and get it in a very cheaper rate. And all of this process is such a streamlined process that we do not add any global emissions into the transportation of the product. So where FedEx or DHL uses their own ships, their own planes, we do not use that. So it allows us to be eco-friendly and work at a faster and cheaper rate than FedEx. Thank you.
Thank you. Good pitch. Up next is Ricardo.
Hello there. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. Hi, my name's, I'm speaking on behalf of Ricardo. He's my colleague, can't be here tonight. So my name's Azhar, but the company is Parcellive, Hanwha Parcellive. We've been going for 5 years now. We're now crossing about $2.5 million in revenue per annum. We track supply chain for some large companies, and we're growing quite aggressively. This year, we should double our revenue. The innovation, we have many innovations, but the key innovation is we've really driven down the unit economics of tracking at scale. So our mission is how do we track the system at a meaningfully large level, but keep the economic of it affordable for the system to work. So our tags are designed in such a way that once they arrive at their destination, the end user takes it out and it creates its own return postal label, and it finds its way back home by itself from across the world using the global postal networks. And at any given time, we're now tracking around 50 countries. We track everything from healthcare, car, automotive, flour, food, pharmaceuticals. This year, we've now got our first government military type thing. And we're also now about to engage with a global health provider. We're looking to raise around $5 million for our Gen 2 platform, because we're just running out of devices and systems to support our growth. And we're really happy to engage and look forward to seeing you in the Series A room to share more.
That sounds great. Where are you out of?
We're out of the UK, but we have offices in the US and in Netherlands. And yeah, that's our global setup. Yeah.
Nice. I'd be interested in learning more. Very cool.
Yeah,
Thank
Ricardo,
you for
please
coming.
put your information in the chat, please.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, you sound very interesting. Thank you for coming and presenting. Up next is Marcus with the Troubled app.
Hello there. Thank you, Mark. Good evening, everyone. I'm Marcus from Troubled. Now, how many of us in life have problems? From day-to-day issues, little pet hates, all the way to life-changing situations. We all do, and we all know someone else that does. Lockdowns, COVID, cost of living crisis, inflation, it's all affecting all of us, the world, and it's making all our lives harder. Now, Troubled is a new social networking community. You can post your problem. It goes through moderation before it's put live. People can comment or reply, one comment or reply per post. You can like users, follow users, like posts, like comments and replies. And in less than 2 weeks, we'll have a direct messaging function coming out. It is the way to bring the world together, support, advice, sharing experiences. We're all in this together, and so many people need support without being judged or labeled. And that's Troubled. Thank you, Mark.
I like your name. That was clever. And thank you for coming and presenting to us. Up next is Jacob Holdman. Hello.
Thanks, Mark. And thank you, everyone, for showing up today. My name is Jacob Holdman. I'm Director of Token Relations at Prasaga. And Prasaga is the next generation of blockchain technology. Started in 2017 as an IoT and smart city company that merely wanted to decentralize IoT. However, we quickly found that there is no infrastructure in place to be able to accomplish our goal. So what we did at Prasaga is we actually eliminate smart contracts from the blockchain and introduce programmable microtransactions called smart assets. By building a decentralized operating system that runs directly on our consensus layer and using object-oriented programming instead of smart contracts. This allows us to be the first chain to reach true scale via sharding. Additionally, to break down barriers to entry in the market, we chose a modified version of Python as our programming language. We believe that the adoption of blockchain will come through enterprise adoption first. And so Prasaga was built as an enterprise-grade chain that is open source, public, and permissionless to all the community to use and take advantage of it. The possibilities of use cases are truly endless. For now, we are focusing on entertainment in terms of payroll, rights management, and royalties, supply chain manufacturing for automotive and aerospace, and pharma phase 1 and 2 testing. Our current ecosystem really we look to push the envelope of what is considered Web3. From a Department of Defense funded project that goes in-depth tracking and analytics of military service animals to a medical device supply chain and data marketplaces. Saga Chain actually creates new business models that companies can now take advantage of that are not available in the world today. To this point, we've raised $9.2 million, $4 million in our seed round last year, and now $5.2 million into our private validator sale, which actually grants you the ability to be a node operator during our testnet. We are looking for capital partners, but additionally, any projects or companies here that are looking to incorporate any sort of blockchain technology would really love to meet you guys and see if there's some way that Saga Chain could help you out and provide value to your business.
Great. Jacob, very impressive sounding, and I'm glad you're here. Welcome to our community. Up next is Scott.
Hello, everyone. My name is Scott Sheffield. I'm the CEO, well, CEM, founder and developer of Sky Software. In 2020, I created a program, well, ultimately furthered a program that I had been using in game development. I've been a software developer for 23 years. I have 2 MVPs right now with my 3D modeling software, Sparrow, being used in several Maryland classrooms and by individual STEM teachers all around the globe. I'm also in talks with Michigan Governor's Office with their procurement office to be used across the entire state. Sparrow is the easiest to use 3D modeling software on the market. If you've ever tried to use Maya or Blender, you realize that there takes a little bit of learning. That's why you go to college classes and learn a bit about Maya and Blender. But with Sparrow, it's easy enough that 8-year-olds have been able to use it, and I've also had 53-year-olds be able to use it. So that's a tested demographic. The models save as a 3D printable .stl model and as resource-friendly C# models, C# files that are openly available and widely accessible to anybody that creates anything. If you can click create, if you can click in a connect the dot fashion, you can create anything you want. This means that the average person, aside from school children using it to create 3D models in school, will be able to, the average person will be able to create models that they can sell on places like Shopify, Etsy, or anything at home. So no more, I'm out of stock, or this model is no longer in fashion. There's multiple avenues of revenue available in the future based on what an investor prefers. But currently I'm taking a page off of Facebook Playbook and putting Sparrow into schools for free as a way to advertise for free and to grow the brand and ultimately change the lives of school children. So if you're interested in ed tech or changing the world, specifically children's lives, I would love to hear from you. And I hope to hear from you. I'll be in the pre-seed, seed, and angel investor room hopping back and forth. So I'm going to go ahead and put my information in the chat, and I hope I hear from you.
Yeah, very interesting. Thank you, Scott. I'm intrigued, and thank you for coming. Up next is Inara. Sorry if I mispronounced.
It's fine. Hi, my name is Inara, and today I'd like to introduce you to MoveOn. So MoveOn is an AI-powered sports events management service that deals with the issues sports organizers and their participants have to go through. Among those issues are such as paperwork, non-unified payments, notification delay, and that's just the tip of an iceberg. So what does MoveOn have to do with all of that? Well, we present a duo of products. It's a web service for organizers and mobile applications for their participants to deal with the above-mentioned issues. Since the last year, we actually made quite a progress. We got a bunch of positive reviews from our users who rated, for example, our applications 4.6 and above on both iOS and Android. And we've done hours of custom dev in order to dive deep into the actual pain our users have to go through, and all that just to re-engineer the service to best suit their needs. And we believe that the unique combination of AI and the sports management expertise puts us in a very strong position to lead the way in this industry. And this industry it's huge. It's a multi-billion market. And this presents a massive opportunity for us. So we're looking for investors who are also eager to join us in tapping into this market. We are now at the pre-seed stage. And if you're interested to join a company and be a part of a company that wants to change the game in this industry, then you're more than welcome. So yeah, that's a brief intro. Thank you.
Thank you. Very interesting. Up next is Jennifer.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
So sorry. Hey, Inara, we can't access your website. So if you could in the chat, put it, if there's a US based one that we can all access, it'd be great. Sorry, Mark.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good point. Thanks, Raj. All right, Jennifer, you're up next. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Mark. I'm so happy to be here. Hello, everyone. My name is Jennifer L. Williams. I am the founder and CEO of Diversed. Diversed is a tech company that utilizes big data and AI on a SaaS platform to help enterprises reach their diversity, equity, and inclusivity goals. There are over $4 billion spent in the DEI space since 2020, and there has yet to be a method to actually understand the true impact of these efforts. I've been in the corporate HR space for 18 years, and I've spent over 2 decades in the diversity space looking for a solution to the problem. And since I couldn't find it, I decided to create it myself. So Diverse captures relevant DEI data, including sentiments, salary distributions, and incident reports in real time. Our AI optimized data collection leverages an existing comms channel you already have, so there's no learning curve or any complicated setup. After we've established a baseline, we use our proprietary library and work with internal strategists that have been trained to work alongside the AI to create, implement, and optimize any enterprise's diversity efforts and achieve more impact. The thought process is your KPIs become dashboards, those dashboards become accountability, and accountability becomes success. So with Diverse, any organization can improve their DEI outcomes. We also maximize the power and potential of lean teams with the utilization of a proprietary AI bot named Didi. She learns and evolves with your team, giving unparalleled insight into how enterprises work without expanding an HR footprint. We're also SOC compliant, and all of the data that Didi collects is anonymized and encrypted. We work on amplifying an enterprise's presence while collecting and synthesizing data in ways that align directly with any enterprise's retention goals. We're looking right now for a seed raise of 1 million for customer acquisition and expansion. And I am looking for transformational partners who want to own a $50 billion addressable market. And so if you think it's time to change the workplace for the better, then we need to talk. Thank you.
Great pitch. Thank you, Jennifer. Impressive. By the way, a few of you who had gotten into the queue, I removed you because I've seen you pitch before, and you're welcome to pitch in the breakout rooms. But on this event, this particular portion of the event, I really only want to hear from people who've never pitched in front of us before. So don't be offended if I removed you. I still want you to pitch and be involved. Thank you, Jennifer. Up next is Mike with Oxygen for Life. And you're on mute, so we'd love to hear you, but we can't.
Yep, there we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, Mike Manu, Oxygen for Life. I've got a 20-year-old medtech company with a patented medical food. It's all plant-based solution for the management of 13 chronic inflammatory diseases and pain like cardiovascular, diabetes 1 and 2, neuropathy, Alzheimer's, COPD, and others. We just released that last year. It falls under what's called the Orphan Drug Act, and it's a class called medical foods, and it's only available through a licensed MD. So it's unlike supplements, claims can be made for what the product does and how it works. The product is a follow-on to our over-the-counter, clinically tested, plant-based solution that was found on the market for 20 years. The initial 4 areas that we're targeting right now are cardiovascular, neuropathy, skin diseases like psoriasis, eczema, and diabetes. Those 4 markets combined are over $750 billion a year with really no solution in sight except for drugs. We're in a unique situation in that we have no R&D, no manufacturing or inventory costs because of strategic relationships we have with all of our partners. We also outsourced all of our fulfillment to a company that's under our control. I have an experienced team in all areas. I've been handling and building companies for 40 years. I've had a digital agency for 15. We just launched a $500,000 raise at a $5 million pre-money valuation using crowdfunding CF through a broker dealer. We're open to other forms of investment as well. And we chose the crowdfunding methodology because of the fact that every one of our consumers that have been buying from us for years is a potential investor and vice versa. So it enables us to scale very quickly in both areas. So we are truly a marketing play with patented products and patented solutions. So thanks for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you very much. I love that we're hearing all these new pitches. They're all fascinating. It's very refreshing, I have to say. I'm going to mute everybody because I heard a little bit of background noise, and there's a possibility somebody's mic was open. Thanks, Mike. We're going to move on. Noah, you're up next.
All right. Thank you for having me. My name is Noah Honer, the co-founder and CEO of Vitamed. And our whole purpose is to develop a non-invasive neuromodulation wearable that lowers a user's anxiety by lowering heartbeat. So what does that mean? It is basically an electrical stimulus that you put on your body that doesn't hurt you in any type of way, that lowers your anxiety. And if you're in chat or you're on video, raise your hand if you have anxiety. That's a joke. Everybody does. In fact, 1/5 of the US population is currently diagnosed with an anxiety disorder, which leaves us with a 2.1 million person target market, which are people who have anxiety, who are in therapy and psychiatry. That leaves us with a 611 million worldwide target market. So we are currently looking for $2 million in seed funding. And we're also looking for scientific advisory board members and advisory board members. So if you want to help change the world, like we're trying to change the world and solve this anxiety epidemic that's been sweeping the nation and the world, please reach out.
And thank you, Noah, for mentioning that you're looking for talent. So many of you need to also mention that, especially if you need somebody in particular. I appreciate that you actually pointed that out. Thanks, Noah. Next up is Jarrett.
Yes, hello, everyone. Hi, Mark. Thanks for having me here today. Yeah, my name is Jarrett Burke with Kifcare. We are a Chicago-based, just west of Chicago. We're a hemp soil to oil to fiber and grain solutions provider. We've been in operations for 4 years now, and we work with hundreds of farmers throughout the Midwest to facilitate their grow and also the distribution of their products. Kifcare has large purchase orders for 2023 in all 3 types of hemp: CBD, fiber, and the grain seed business. Over the last 4 years, Kifcare has worked with the Midwest Hemp Database Project, providing key data to the project. That project is headed up by University of Illinois, University of Wisconsin, Purdue, and Michigan State. And we've submitted 7 of our genetic strains that have been approved through the program thus far. For the first time ever in 2022, fiber hemp outpaced the amount of acres grown in the United States to CBD hemp. So 7,997 acres of fiber hemp was grown, as opposed to 6,930 acres of CBD hemp. What that means for us is there's a huge opportunity in the fiber production, because as many of you may not be aware, last year the US building codes approved hemp to be an additive to concrete. So originally the fiber production was originally not predicted to overtake CBD production until 2025 or later, and this happened last year. So Kifcare has a goal of growing up to 5,000 acres of hemp fiber with our hemp partners in 2023. And some of the offtake agreements that we have for our hemp product, actually, this here is an example of what we grew last year with some of our farmer partners for the hemp fiber. And it gets turned into something that looks like this, which is the hemp hurd. The hemp hurd gets put into everything from hemp plastics, like you see these hemp tensils here, to hemp wood. This is an example of a hemp hardwood flooring here, and many other things such as horse bedding, paints and sealants, and even like a hemp biofuel. So all of these are examples of different types of companies that Kifcare is selling to. We are doing a seed round for 2023. of 2.5 million, and I will be in the seed room. So thank you all for your time.
It's appropriate that you're growing something and you're in a seed room. It sounds like the right fit. Thank you, Jarrett. Up next is Queen. You're on mute probably. Oh, there we go.
Hello, everybody. It's me.
Queen, we're not hearing you. I'll be honest. For some reason we're not getting a good
There's a
signal.
fan on.
Oh, there's
Can you all hear me now?
Go ahead. Say it again.
Okay. So my name is Queen Edokwa, and I'm the founder of Standby Helps. I lost my dad in 2019 at the age of 73. He died because no one was with him when he died. You know, he had a stroke attack, and then he eventually passed. So the grief from losing my dad challenged me to set up and launch Standby Helps. It's a platform, an on-demand platform, clients urgently. On Standby Helps, you can actually get, if you're not available, you know, due to your busy schedule or distance and other factors, you can actually hire a caregiver to be with your loved ones, and they'll be there with them and then take care of them for as long as you want. So we cater to elderly people, we cater to people who just had babies, new mothers. We also cater to people who are admitted in hospitals. The idea is just to ensure that we bridge that gap between people who need caregivers urgently, and then you know, they will be able to get caregivers. Now, we earn 30% per transaction. We just want to be fair, so the caregivers still feel motivated to work, and then we still have enough money to, you know, continue to run the business. Now, our caregivers work on a project-by-project basis, so we don't necessarily own them. You know, that also minimizes our overhead costs. We are looking to raise $100,000 in exchange for 5% equity. Part of the funds will be used to develop our mobile app, because right now, you know, we don't have the location feature because we don't have an app. So it's mostly on the website, and then sometimes people book manually. So if we have a mobile app, people will be able to, you know, connect with caregivers in their vicinity. So if my dad, for instance, had a care, you know, could just use an app and, you know, contact Standby Helps and book, you know, he would probably not have gotten, you know, that far into the situation he was in, because he spoke to us just a few minutes before that time. And then, so in addition to that, we will be able to help people, you know, who need caregivers, right, to solve the problem. So we have less death rates, and we have the less rates of people who feel abandoned by their loved ones, you know, and things like that. Now, our caregivers at Standby Helps do everything for our people they care for, from cleaning to laundry to cooking to feeding, shopping, everything that they need help with. Sometimes they even have those who have the skill of driving. If we can get a technical partner, that will also help things. Part of the funds will be used, like I said, to develop the app, and the other part will be for marketing, so we can reach out to more people and not, you know, just be drowned in the market, and get more leverage out there and increase our visibility. And then also the remaining part will be used for continuous business development. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And it did come through after you got the fan off, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Yes.
And Queen, put your information in the chat, please.
Okay, thank you. I'll do that right now. Thank you so much, everybody.
Yes. Mark, if you can just remind people, once they do these great presentations, for us to be able to try to interact and engage with them, we need to get their information in the chat, because this thing is moving really fast, and we want to try to catch it and reach out as best as possible.
Thank you for that comment. Thank you. And I agree 100%. And I appreciate that the community keeps helping me get the right words out to everybody. So,
you have one person spamming the chat. You might want to stop.
Oh, well, who can you just put that? Tell me who that name is.
Yeah, sure.
Who's spamming the chat? I need
It's
to know.
Mirage.
Okay, well, that has to stop immediately, or you're never going to be coming back again. We are not going to allow for spamming of the chat. So if that continues, please let me know. I don't have time to watch the chat. And even my assistants who do post in the chat, we're so busy. Thank you for helping us moderate and keep the community safe. There's a few faces that have hands up that I just want to say, if you pitched before, you can pitch in the breakout rooms, but not now. I want to get us to the breakout rooms within the next 8 minutes. So, and John, I can't remember if you've pitched before or not, but you're up next. John McIntyre. And you're on mute, or we're just not hearing. For some reason I'm not hearing you, even though you weren't on mute. It appears you're not on mute, but your microphone doesn't seem to be working. Here's the thing, John. I think I want to have you back for sure. I will make sure you're on the main stage next week if you come back, but let's make sure your microphone is working next week. I am so sorry. I'm going to move on though, because we can't wait. Up next is Tim. That was a quickie. I appreciate how fast you moved there to get ready. You're still on mute though. There we go.
Yeah, Mark, thanks for allowing me to join and do a pitch. I'm Tim Gibbons, CEO of EdgeX Incorporated in San Diego, and we've built disruptive technology for tracking indoor locations. If you look at the GPS market outdoors, it's fairly mature. Indoors for businesses, there's about 97 billion square feet of indoor space, and less than 5% of that is tracked. And some of the big reasons because of that is that it's definitely a market that has not been scaled correctly. The technology that's used is older technology. It's about 10 years old. And we've taken kind of augments of that technology. I'll give you an example. Like, this is the competitive tag that's out there. So you can imagine putting a $40 tag on items that are less than $100, or if they're not a couple $1,000s, and this costs about $30 to $40 a year to manage battery-wise. Our tags are $1, and we use a battery-free network to actually track items. So for $1, you can get 7 years of battery life with our IP technology around the software for tracking. So we're really storming into the market. We have healthcare covered right now. We're actually moving into surgery centers and hospitals to do inventory tracking, other types of items. We can replace RFID technology, Bluetooth. So we do have a way to track people, inventory, assets. We're in the process. We just did a recap of the company, and we're doing probably a larger seed class Series A raise, about $6.5 million, to expand operations and engineering. So I do have information I can send out in the chat about it, but I just wanted to get this out to people that we're looking to become that indoor GPS leader going forward.
Nice. Tim, I'm interested. I'd love to see your deck.
Okay, great. I'll send it over.
Okay, we're going to move on though. Thank you for your pitch.
Okay.
Up next is Anne, but I don't remember, Anne, if you pitched here before or not. Your name looks familiar, but I'm hoping you haven't pitched.
No, I've never pitched.
Perfect. Then you're up next.
Okay, so ThreeBlocks .io, we're the Zillow of tokenized real estate. If you Google trying to find tokenized real estate, there are hundreds of platforms out there. And so, but they're so scattered and separated. It's not mobilized, put together. So for instance, if you want to buy a property in Miami of 350K, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, you don't know which platform to go to. There's Realty, there's SQF Coin, there's all sorts of platforms out there. So that's what Zillow did for the real estate market. So they consolidate all the MLS in different cities, different states, consolidate them together. So you could go to the search engine and say, I want to find a location, Miami, price range, 350K. How many bedrooms? 3. How many bathrooms? 2. So we're going to do the exact same thing for tokenized real estate. And tokenized real estate, if you don't understand what it is, it enables fractional investment. So you can invest in, like, have 200 different investors in one property. And before, you could not do that, because if you form an LLC, you can manage 200 different investors on one property. So with fractional investment through tokenization, you can have as many as investors as you want. So we're the aggregator of tokenized real estate, and we do one step further. We have our in-house funding. There's no credit check. We don't check your salary. We don't check your credit score, and but there's collateral with your tokens. So it's instant settlement. You can purchase a property instantly in 5 minutes, and you have ownership through NFT of that property. So it's instant settlement with our in-house lending program.
Well, instant sounds good. All right, Ann, put your information in the chat for others to find you. Lou, I think you pitched before. No? Then you're up next. Good. I'm glad.
We contact via LinkedIn.
I just knew your name, so forgive me. I'm glad you're pitching. Fantastic. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm the founder and president of a nonprofit organization incorporated in Massachusetts that publishes the Precision Nanomedicine Journal. We are creating a reliable, affordable, fast, and trusted source of information, which is accessible to everybody online. Now, we live in a world where most people trust only sources and people they know. At our journal, 45 members of our editorial board on the world's top 2% scientist lists. This is essentially the same board that worked with me when we scaled a startup Elsevier journal up to 500,000 readers. The journal, the Precision Nanomedicine, is its 5th year, presently free, so we don't charge anything. We maintain ours on donations, and just got accepted by a major indexing database, Scopus, that most of you are probably familiar with. What do we offer to entrepreneurs, companies, and investors in the medicine and the life sciences space? We offer to publicize your name and goals in blogs and technical notes to our trusted network for 400,000 scientists. The number of our readers grows by 1,000 every month. It's very nice for us. Send me an email. It will be in the chat, and your ad will be published on a credible open access website. You can always refer to your leads. Ads are also distributed through our editorial board social networks, including our list of 1,300 lead scientists, center and program directors, and so on. No price tag on the ads. On our underwarehouse.org website, you donate what you think is right and what you can afford. If you have no money, it's free. Imagine that you are hunting for ducks at night. You can keep firing at the sky from many of your guns, and statistically, you will hit a few sooner or later. But how about shooting at a group of valid ducks instead? You can have a hit much sooner.
First of all, Lou, I'm sorry that I mistakenly thought you'd pitch for. I now remember that we've spoken, and what you're doing is actually very interesting. So healthcare folks, you need to at least know Lou. Thank you, Lou, for pitching. Up next is Hiren with ZFlow, who was on our list for tonight. Glad to have you.
Thank you, Mark. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Thank you. My name is Hiren. I'm one of the 3 founders of ZFlow. We are based in Pleasanton, California. ZFlow is an enterprise software solution, and we help our manufacturing companies build a more optimized supply chain. Our customers, they realize at a minimum 2 things: top line benefit in terms of on-time shipments of products, and then lower costs in terms of being able to optimize or reduce costs in the supply chain. We do have 7 large enterprise customers today. It is entirely bootstrapped, the company. We have an annual recurring revenue of $300,000. Our average sales along at every customer, along with software and services, is $200,000. And the annual recurring revenue at each one of our referenceable customers is increasing. So in summary, our product is already developed. Our market fit is established. The target segment is clear. It is large manufacturing companies, and our customers would be happy to get onto a phone call. We are looking to raise $2 million specifically for growing our sales and marketing so that we can repeat and rinse what is already working in terms of customer acquisition. We have already identified the seasoned veterans in this space that we want to hire. And then just in case if anybody is wondering what it is that the software really does, it optimizes core mature supply chain processes such as RFQ, RFP, vendor management, new product introduction, supplier performance, vendor managed inventory. Our secret sauce is that it is zero code, and it is a supply chain purposed workflow engine that works out of the box. And the 2 or 3 codes that the customers have provided is that they have seen a 10x advantage. The customers have seen a 10x advantage in terms of deploying and realizing the benefits. Another customer quoted that they have increased their return on investment in enterprise systems like SAP because they own SAP, and our software has out-of-the-box integration to SAP. And then the third case is that they have been able to retire custom homegrown solutions which didn't quite work properly anyway. And the last 2 points are that we have made sure that this software works both within and outside the firewall, because we see a shift. Not everybody likes 100% cloud. So we work within the firewall of the organization. The team is comprised of ex-SAP employees and employees from manufacturing companies like GM, Ford, and many others. Would be happy to share more. Thank you, Mark.
Okay, great. Thank you. And the last pitch, I think, before we go to the breakout rooms, I'm sorry, somebody just raised their hand, but we're about to go to breakout rooms. So Jason Turner, you're going to be our last person to pitch before breakout rooms. Thanks.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jason Turner. I'm the CEO and founder of the Distribution Network. And what the Distribution Network is a B2B to C supply chain directory and network for supply chain professionals. Our goal is basically to allow our supply chain professionals market, sell, hire, train, educate, negotiate, and network all in the same place with one click of a button. We currently have a phone application for Android and iPhone that will be soon ready to be put to market. We have a live web platform that you go to distributionnetwork.com to actually test out the platform and see what our MVP works like. But the goal is basically for us to start getting software, procurement software for the supply chain, carriers, brokers, and everybody into the same place. Now, our market is the logistics market, which is an $8 trillion market, broken up in segments. You got express, you got rail, you got air cargo. So there's a lot of different segments within logistics, but altogether it comes up to 8 trillion, and in the United States alone is 2 trillion. And we're looking to raise around $3 million in the seed round. We just finished Founders Institute. And if anybody's interested in joining our network, it costs $35 to join per month. And I look forward to speaking with anybody. I actually sent some people some emails that pitched tonight.
All right. Thank you, Jason. I'm opening up 10 breakout rooms right now. So here we go. And
hey, Mark, real quick.
Yep.
I apologize. I popped out real quick, but there have been a lot of questions about the chat. I don't know if people have learned how to save the chat if they would like. Maybe you want to let them know that.
Thank you, Raj. You want to explain? Yep. Go ahead.
Yep. Guys in the chat, if you go in, you have the pen, you have the reactions. There's the 3 dots in the chat itself. If you click on it, it says save chat. You will own the entire transcription. It's wildly valuable. Thanks, Mark.
Perfect. Thanks so much for that addition. I've opened up 10 rooms. I hope you guys will go into those rooms. Feel free to pitch, to meet people, you know, and those of you that want to hang out with me for the next hour, you're welcome to, but I don't have an agenda and I don't know what we're going to talk about. But if you're interested in somehow spending time with me, you'll have to raise your hand so we can do it in a logical order. I have a feeling. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing with you for that time. I would prefer you all go into breakout rooms. That's the reason why we have them.